Hey guys, so some of you who know me might know that I more or less incessantly play drums on the table, and so I started making a robot who I call Dr. Squiggles, and Dr. Squiggles is supposed to be able to tap on the tabletop and play rhythms along with me, so if I start tapping out some rhythm, Dr. Squiggles should start accompanying me with some interesting rhythm of its own. And so the structure I've built here is eventually going to have computers and circuitry and whatnot inside of it. But right now, all of the computers and circuitry are just sitting here on the table because I'm still prototyping it. And then I also have here some solenoids. And the solenoids are the things that actually tap on the table. And my original thought was that I would have 8 solenoids and I would just put them around the tentacles of this structure so they could tap on the table. But the more I think about it, I think what I might do is actually put the solenoids kind of up here and then have little, I don't know, glass or metal objects or wooden objects for the solenoids to actually tap on. And so I've also been writing some algorithms that generate rhythms, and I'll show that for you briefly. So my setup is that I have a contact mic on the table which records me tapping on the table, and I have that going into my computer, and my computer is doing some analysis of the microphone signal, and then the computer is sending commands out and telling the solenoids when they should actually tap. So the first thing I did is I made a beat tracker. And the beat tracker has a count in mode, so I can just count in the tempo I want to start with. So dig it, 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 dig it. And the solenoid starts clicking the beat along with me. And then if I want to, I can change tempo. Dig it, dig it, dig it. And eventually it picks up a new tempo. Okay, so it does take a little bit of time to adjust to a new tempo. There's an inherent trade-off between how much time it takes to switch to a new tempo versus how robust it is to me making mistakes. And actually, I sort of think that tempo tracking isn't a great approach for human-machine interaction in this context. For a variety of reasons, I think really what you want is for the robot to just play a constant tempo and not be influenced by what the human is doing. But I implemented the beat tracker because I want to do some things with robot-robot interaction, where I have multiple robots all sort of playing with each other and tracking each other's tempos. So I also made some rhythm generation algorithms. So I'll start this tapping the beat, and then I'll just lock that tempo in, so it's no longer tracking, it's just playing that tempo. And then I have this algorithm, which is basically just generating random rhythms. And so I can play along with that if I want. And I could have that track my beat if I wanted to, or I could just play along with it like this. And so that's kind of interesting, but it's also not really responding to me in any meaningful way. So I made another rhythm generation algorithm that just delays whatever I play by 2 beats. So And so I think this could be interesting for a few different reasons. One is that in human-robot interaction, often what you want is for the robot to be playing something that somehow stylistically matches whatever it is that the human is doing, and just repeating back what the human played is kind of the most trivial way of doing that, of making sure that the robot is somehow matching what the human is doing. The other reason that this is interesting is that now this robot could actually interact with itself. Like, rather than me tapping on the table, it could just listen to itself tapping on the table. And in fact, the reason I have these solenoids sitting on this fabric is that so normally it can't hear itself tapping on the table. But if I take this fabric away, now the microphone will pick up the sound of the tapping. And these time delay systems are known to be prone to having these wild instabilities, which often are bad in time delay systems. But in this case, it might actually be interesting if the robot's trying to track itself, but it's performing poorly and things are constantly changing and moving around. This might be an interesting way of generating rhythms. Anyways, so I think that's all I have to say on this topic for now. Yeah, I have a lot more ideas that I want to try out and a lot of building to do before I have one sort of self-contained robot. But hopefully all that won't take too much longer, and maybe I'll have something interesting to share with you in the near future. So that's it.